Well, it's just nearly the end of the first day here at the SMI. I've had a really packed day of meetings, so stand by for more information on that. And today, what I want to do right now is just summarise the opening panel, like I did for the one back in March, with some really good insights on gold. This one also talks about gold, but silver as well, which is great because tomorrow I'm hosting the silver panel, which I will record because I'm hoping some really good insights will come from that panel. But on the panel this morning was Florian Grummers again, the technical guy from Midas Touch. He says that gold is moving back to reality. It's getting a reality check effectively, with technicals going back to the 1980s. Gold broke out around March time. Silver, of course, followed it. It's dipped a bit below 50 now, but it's broken the technical upside. He has a target of $100 of silver per ounce of silver in 6 to 18 months' time. Beyond there, he's looking at anywhere from $250 to $500 and beyond. We want to watch for gold first, which has obviously started. It's happened. Then the stocks. The money will go to the stocks, and then silver. We then had David Finch from Ixios Asset Management Partners. And he was talking really about the mining industry in general. So he's saying that the industry really hadn't generated any free cash flow for about 15 years. And the recent significant rise in the price of gold, for example, has really changed that. But he sees it in sort of two waves. So this first wave being an opportunity where companies have basically repaid a lot of debt in this first move. The second wave might see capital being returned to shareholders. He does think that management have learned lessons from previous cycles and are not effectively going on a huge spending spree. It's still early days, of course, in this move. If we get into absolute extreme euphoria, we might see crazy spending. But at the moment, he says he thinks management have learned that lesson and not actually going on spending sprees. Instead, they're doing buybacks and dividends are up, etc. So that's obviously a good sign. The second phase is still to come for the gold miners. He did say that although the GDX is up about 15%, and he's getting calls from people saying, oh, well, you know, we think we've missed the boat here. He actually doesn't think it's re-rated properly yet. So almost this move that we're seeing now, as Florian said, you know, it's getting a reality check, it's moving back to reality. And actually the best is still yet to come. Then David Street from Tembo Capital made some points about not many quality gold projects are available at the moment due to that lack of underinvestment over many years. He said that generally the stocks that he looks at would be bigger miners because the small miners tend to have the same issues as the big miners. But of course, if you're bigger, your risk is mitigated by, of course, the resource you've got. And I've heard before, really, I think it was Alexander Starhill told me last March when I interviewed him, he said that really there's no point looking at a gold project that's under 1 million ounces. David is also pretty bullish on copper as well. Garrett Goggins from Golden Portfolio was also on the panel. He actually brought in some a bit of a different sort of discussion point here about Tether, of course, the crypto currency. Tether have been buying physical gold. They've been buying stocks in companies, Elemental Royalties, for example. They've been buying farmland, and he thinks that Tether Gold will be bigger than Tether Dollar. They're effectively buying 2 tons of gold per week. That's presumably to back their currency because, of course, USD, Tether, is tied to the US dollar. But now we've got Tether Gold, which is now going to be physically backed by real assets. So we have seen this actually a little bit with digital assets coming in to the physical side with treasury companies, for example, mining companies doing treasury policies. So we're starting to see a joining of, I think, those two industries, which is really good in my opinion because there's a lot of capital in the cryptocurrency markets, but it's a lot of opportunity in hard assets and mining stocks. So again, he reiterated $100 silver target. Royalty companies, he said, are hot. They're good ones to look at. Then we had Ronald Stoffel from Incrementum Silver. Again, he said the best is yet to come. Stocks will start to outperform the underlying asset, and we're seeing that by things like record attendance at shows, for example. He goes to a lot of different shows. He said that India are building a solar plant that's bigger than Paris, so demand there physically for the silver that goes into solar panels, for example. Next 2 years should be really positive. He thinks gold will consolidate a little bit before the next wave, and perhaps it's not the time to be playing high beta plays on gold, for example. But he did have a target of 8,900 US dollars per ounce by 2030, so effectively a 16% per year increase there in the gold price. So still very bullish on that. He says that 1,000 tons of central bank purchase that have been happening in the past, they're continuing. So that's central banks buying, well, 1,000 tons of the physical metal, because it's been neglected by central banks for so long. And now he thinks that gold is actually coming back as the second reserve currency. So generally, everyone's still pretty bullish, aren't they, on the sector, which is great. The conference is busy, as people did allude to. It's the busiest it's ever been, I've been told by the organizer, Manuel. And silver and gold are still very much sort of the talk of the town. So tomorrow the silver panel should be really good. There's some really interesting points there. One of the panelists I'm speaking to, or I'm hosting with, Wasif, is going to talk about his idea of return to tangibles. So that's a really good concept to explore. And also energy, and energy is the currency, the universal currency of the world. So we'll talk a little bit about energy and then how silver fits into that picture. But generally, yeah, I'm getting the sense that people are still very bullish on the sector. I think the sense I'm getting is it has only just started, and it's going to continue. And I've heard a few people here say, and I'll explore this tomorrow on the silver panel, that actually they don't think the bust is coming. So the typical, cycle up, euphoria and major crash. I've heard a couple of people independently now say, and they're both on the panel tomorrow, they don't think the bust is coming. So I'm hoping to get far more insights tomorrow. It will be all recorded, so you can watch the whole thing and not have to rely on my notes. But yeah, I hope that helps bring some insights, and anything else we can bring you. Of course, I will. It's snowing here in Zurich. It's very Christmassy, so I hope everyone's at home is well and enjoying it.